little sugar boogers, a long time no see. Oh, how I've missed you all so very freaking much. I know it's been a minute since I've posted a video, and I've seen your comments, I've seen your concerns, and heck, I've even seen your questions. But if you follow me on Twitter, you already know your girl is currently under construction. I have been working on some personal things in my life, and it has been rough and it has been tough, but I'll get into that part, I guess, a little bit later into the video. And I find it very fitting how I'm mentioning this on a collab with Thomas TV when he is seriously the only person in my internet life who actually knows what is going on. So, wow, it's kind of funny how these things happen, right? Anyways, long story short, a couple weeks back, we decided to come together for a little fixer-upper type of video. But basically, we are kind of like, challenging each other to see who renovates this lot best. And I asked you guys, or not I, but we asked you guys to basically submit your submissions to us in a home that needs a little bit of loving. And we decided to pick this one here. Thomas and I, we are doing the exact same renovation on the exact same build. In case you guys are wondering, I think that's how these things work. I don't know. First time doing a renovation battle, but I really, really like the bones of this particular home. It is called the Overgrown Farmhouse, and I believe the creator or the user name of the creator who built this bad boy is called like APROTE or something like that. I do not know how to pronounce their username, but their information and credentials will be in the description, as well as Thomas's channel. You should totally check him out. Like I said, he's a really, really good friend, and God bless his soul because he puts up with a lot of my crap. Like, I'm not even lying. He is like my Shane to my Tiana. I'm not gonna lie. Poor kid. Anyways, all right. So this is what the exterior of the house looks like before we renovate it, and I like it. I really do like it. It's a farm style, if I didn't mention that, and I haven't really done any farm style type of houses. We've got a lot of things that need plucking. This grass has basically been neglected for a very long time. These trees, they're pretty big and gargantuous. I kind of feel like they overshadow the back of the property. And then when we get into the interior, I could already tell you I love the layout. I really, really do. I've already renovated this house, by the way, and whew, I love it. But I really do feel like this part here needs to be kind of like widened a little bit. It gives me like claustrophobic feels. And then over here we have what I assume to be the living room. Needs a little bit of work. It's a little drab. It's a little dreary. The kitchen is a beautiful size for once. It's actually not teensy tiny like the ones that I currently make. Oh my gosh, my kitchens are so small. And then we have a formal dining room, which I love. I love this. The rug is beautiful. I actually end up keeping the rug. There is a basement downstairs, right? And there's also a baby. I know, questions. Like, Jeffrey did not want the kid. No, I'm just kidding. I had to put him, I don't know how to put them here just for the time being because they couldn't, at least I have a heart. I didn't put them in the rain, So this basement, I get rid of. I don't even mess with it just because I really loved the house and the basement. As much as I like the idea of it, it was really ruining my plans in the renovation. So we ended up deleting the entire basement. I don't know if that constitutes as cheating, but you do what you do, and I did that. So here we have the upstairs. Definitely got a lot of things going on, but what I love about it is all of the bedrooms, all of the space, right? So we've got like a double bathroom kind of thing going on. We knocked that out. We fixed that. We've got, nice sizes, but I make them a little bit better. I really do love the upstairs, except for the fact that I feel like there's just a little bit of layout issues. I mean, we've got some walls missing and that sort of thing. But before you say, oh my God, you guys are copying Kayla, Fixer Uppers has been around for a hot minute. I totally respect her craft. She is the OG of Fixer Uppers, like bow freaking down. But I don't think that doesn't mean anybody else shouldn't or couldn't do a fixer-upper. Anyways, guys, I've done a lot of flopping, so let's go ahead and get it cracking. I'm just kidding. That was totally cheesy, and I promise you'll never do it again. All right, let's go. Okay, so we're going to start off by getting rid of all of this overgrowth back here. I really did like the big oak trees. I don't know what kind of tree. It's like a willow tree, an oak tree. I really loved the trees back there. I thought they kind of like blended in with the property, like on the outlines, but I wanted to strip this house down to the bare bare minimum as much as I could. I was taking note of where things were and kind of like my own visions and what I wanted to put in there as we kind of went along. I really do like that the creator of this particular build went the extra mile. Like some things were like boarded up, you know, like we're missing walls, that sort of thing. It really did feel like I was renovating a home that has been sitting for a particularly long time. So let's address this basement, shall we? Because I don't know, I feel like in fixer-uppers and things like that, you should definitely keep, you know, these kinds of things as a part of the house. However, I loved this home so much, like so much. I'm like, oh my God, yes, girl. Like I know I can make this freaking amazing. Like I can totally transform this into a farmhouse paradise. However, the balcony, why do I keep saying the balcony? The basement was really freaking throwing me off in this little like random bathroom too. So what I decided to do at some point, I was like, you know what? I'm definitely just going to have to eat this one. I'm going to delete the whole entire basement. I'm going to renovate this living room. And I'm so glad that I did, because honestly, this is a home, you guys, in the end, that I would absolutely have my Sims move into. Like I can almost foresee this being June and Pace's new house, but I'm not really sure because there's just a lot of space. It's super duper cozy. And I really loved the theme that I went with. So at first I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. As you guys can see, I'm kind of like playing around with things. Maybe I can throw in a bathroom here. I'm not really certain. I do think actually I do throw in a bathroom down there, because originally, if you go upstairs, there's like a bathroom and then there's like another bathroom next to it. And I thought that was kind of unnecessary. So what I decided to do is I actually ended up turning the bathroom that was on the upstairs unit. I ended up turning that into another bedroom. So this home in total, you guys, will have four bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, 1 upstairs, 1 downstairs. And again, it's a really simple layout to navigate. And I just love the way that it turned out. So at this point, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do in terms of like a color palette or maybe the overall style. So the vibes that I was kind of getting from this home was like Victorian, like a Victorian inspired farmhouse with more Joanna, what's the other dude's name? Joanna and Chad, Chris. I don't know. I can't remember what his name is, but you know, Mr. and Mrs. Gaines. So that's actually how the house kind of turns out to be. It's very like farm style, but it also has like these really beautiful Victorian elements to it. And I decided to like add these little, I don't know what they're called exactly. Like my terminology when it comes to building isn't the best, but I add like these little like window inserts, I guess, so that it kind of just gives the exterior a little bit of a refresher. And I know I changed a lot about this house, but I really didn't either. I just kind of wanted to make it more dimensional, have more, you know, like facets to it, because again, it's a really cute little house, and I don't do farm style at all. So I'm really, really proud as to how I ended up, you know, executing this renovation at the end. Believe it or not, you guys, this renovation, it took your girl 2 freaking hours. I was like, I was seriously utilizing all of the space on my computer, my hard drives, everything. I know I get a lot of questions. People are like, oh, what do you film on? Typically, I film on an external SSD. And the reason why I film on an external SSD is because of the way that the files process. It's actually a lot faster. So if you have like deroxitory and stuff, and then you check your disk speed or write speed on your particular hard drives, you'll see that SSDs just, they write so much faster. And this really helps with like your footage being a little more like fluid, especially if you're doing like 60 frames per second, that sort of a thing. I typically steer away from traditional hard drives. Like even the hard drive that's actually on my computer is an SSD as well. They're very expensive. That's the only downside to an SSD, but they're totally worth the investment. Unfortunately, the external I have is only like 256 megabytes, and my file sizes can get to be like over 100. It's crazy, right? So at the end of this, I was having a freaking heart attack and a half because I did not have any space anywhere on the computer, hard drives, whatever. So I had to like utilize bits and bobs here. And then so if the intro where I'm like talking and showing you guys the house is a little laggy, I'm not really sure why. I think that might be because I was running out of memory, and at that point my computer was running on fumes. So something I did with this home, I used a lot of Parenthood. I used a lot of Parenthood of the Parenthood game pack. I definitely utilized a lot of the things that came in seasons, but obviously the stuff that comes with Seasons, it's very craftsman, right? So I didn't want to like teeter too much into the craftsman style, but this home definitely utilizes a lot of Seasons and a lot of Parenthood, which I think is kind of cool. I think I even used some stuff from like the Vampire Stuff Pack, just a lot of different things here and there. And as you guys can see, the home is starting to take shape, and you can get the overall feel. I'm really fighting with that fireplace. You can kind of get the overall feel for this home, and I didn't want to douse it with too many windows, but I love these windows from Seasons, and I feel like they're very like grandiose, and they give the home such an open, elegant feel. I really love like the wood color palette that I chose. Like, it's not really, I don't know how to say it. It's like a honey sort of wood, and then I love like the green exterior paint. That's also really cool. I don't know, everything about what I did with this home, it's so worth the time and effort, because again, this is a house I could definitely see my Sims moving into. I love it. I think it's perfect. It's such a perfect like little family legacy home. It's not even that expensive either. It's like only 80,000 simoleons, so I think it's like 79 or something like that. Obviously it depends on where you place the house. It's not too expensive, but it's definitely not the cheapest either. So there we go. I think finally we're gonna start moving into doing a little building. I'm just putting in some doors. I did keep that rug. Out of everything that was in the house originally, I love that rug. Like when I told you guys in the beginning, I love it. I really did. By the way, you guys, I have not seen Thomas's renovation. I have no clue what he's doing. I'm really curious. I'm like super intrigued to see how he decorated this home. Like, I want to do more of these renovation challenges in the future. Like, this has been so much fun. Like, as I was building the entire time, I'm like, well, what did Thomas do? Like, what if our homes look exactly the same? What if they look completely different? What if I love his more? Like, I'm just like thinking of all these little fun scenarios. Had to move the fireplace. Originally, the home was very off-center, off-kilter. I did my best to kind of balance that out a little bit, and then I realized like the fireplace being, like super duper to the, I guess, left, right, whatever. It's just, it didn't match the rest of the house. And as you guys can see, she's starting to look more like a home. I love her. Something I do with building too, by the way, because I struggle a lot with building it, and I feel like I'm finally starting to find what works for me. I like to keep things consistent. I like to use the same lights throughout the house. I like to use the same types of wallpapers throughout the house. If I set up a bathroom one way, you best believe the other bathrooms are going to look very similar. Maybe the layout's just a little bit different, because I would feel like super weird if I went into my house and like my toilet upstairs is different than my toilet downstairs. And this is something I used to do in the beginning of my building. Like, I would have every room literally look like like it came out of a freaking Funhouse magazine. It was horrible. So here's the thing. Like, when I used to build homes, I feel like I was so much more like free flowing. Like, I would build whatever I wanted. If I wanted one room to look different, whatever. But like, I never was satisfied. I remember this one time in particular. I think the build is still up. I don't even know. I'm not really sure. It's kind of like one of those things that sticks and burns into your memory. I built like this mansion. And then like, I think the bathroom was like red or something. It was some sort of like atrocious color. And I looked back on this video. I'm like, oh my God, Jen, what the were you thinking? Like, oh dear God, like what the, seriously, you guys, it's worse than seeing a clown in the dark. It was terrible. So I feel like I've definitely worked on that, and I am so proud with this kind of like fairy tale Victorian, Joanna Gaines inspired kitchen. It's so pretty. I love it. Just really cleansing too. Like, I love the wallpaper. It has like this elegant kind of like vibe to it. I love like the little I like the little island that I put in here. I even put down like a little doggy or kitty mat. It just kind of depends what animals you have, but there are spaces for some pets in here. I don't know. I love like the chandelier. I typically use like the traditional I think it's like $150 like lamps or whatever. Like, I always put those in the house, but I felt like I really got to step outside of my box because somebody else built this home, and I feel like this is what really helps people build. Like, I need to do more of these like fixer-upper type videos. And again, like, I'm not trying to copy or take away or do anything. Like, Fixer Upper has been around for a really long time. Maybe not a series dedicated to fixing up other people's builds, but just the general idea. And I just, it would suck not to be able to do that because people give other people flack for it, and like, again, like, I don't think Kayla cares or anything if people do Fixer Uppers, we've been down this path before. But anyway, oh my God, I love the dining room too. I feel like it's very elegant, but I was super careful, you guys, to keep the barn, like the barn farmhouse style, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't want it to get too Victorian. I didn't want it to become too elegant. Love using, like, mixing the like different types of wood mediums. I said mixing mediums, like I'm freaking painting or something. Okay. I'm getting a little winded. Can you tell? Like, I don't do well with long speed build voiceovers, but I think we're doing okay because I want to talk to you guys too also about what's going on in my life. But anyway, I use a lot of different types of woods, and I think, okay, like let me just go back to what I was originally saying about how to build, because I feel like I should tell you guys kind of like just my point of view of how it's helped me, because I feel like this build is the most like cohesive, like makes sense. It actually looks like good kind of build I've ever done. Like I say that every time because I feel like every video that you do or every build that you should do should help you, and you should learn something from it. And especially if you really want to take, because building can be a very serious art. Let me tell you, there is definitely some like method to the madness that happens here. So one thing that I felt was very helpful in tackling such a large build, and it's probably why it took me so damn long because I'm still learning, is just kind of like I said, keeping everything cohesive. It's okay to have stuff matchy. Just switch it up, you know? Get a color palette. Think of like, you know, what wood you want to use primarily. Originally I was gonna go for like a dark wood and light wood, but I totally swapped that out. It's all like this beautiful honeysuckle colored wood. So pick your wood, you know, maybe like a darker shade and a lighter shade of that wood if you want to kind of switch it up a little bit. The bathrooms, keep them all the same. Like if you're going to use tile in the bathroom, feel free to use tile in all of the bathrooms, even if the tile can match maybe the kitchen. You could do that too if you really want to be matchy. I think I did just because it matched the wallpaper, but traditionally I'll keep like the bathroom tiles the same, but then I would like switch out the kitchen tile. And I one thing I learned from Kayla is not to have like tiles next to tiles. That was also really helpful. I did take a lot of like her builder's Bible stuff into consideration when I'm building every single freaking time. That's why I like added on like the little boxes and, you know, just kind of made the structural look of the house just a little more intriguing, and I feel like that really helped me a lot. So yeah, a lot of these things are definitely from Kayla. I think she suits my building style the most. She's always had, and she's a freaking icon. Like I love the way that she builds. So that's one of the things. So that's also part of the reason why upstairs I didn't keep the bathroom or the two bathrooms together. I made one into a bedroom. So that's my suggestions when it comes to that. Let me see. Don't be afraid to keep things close. Don't be afraid to like juice shit up. If you get stuck, because this is like something that happened to me in the dining room downstairs. I felt like I had everything that I needed right in the dining room, and I was like, but it looks pretty bland on the wall. I actually started using shelves to kind of fill up that space. Like, if it seems silly, it probably isn't. Play around. Like, you don't always have to, like, film what you're doing, because let me tell you, you'll have this 2-hour video. But I feel like that really helps, too. And I do like kind of just making things, you know, not completely perfectly squared. Like, in this home, you know, the rooms all have different shapes, and I feel like things are just really interesting. They're not too predictable. Like, I elongated this master here. I'm playing with things that don't necessarily match, but do feel like they have some correlation. I don't know. Maybe in the future, I could totally give you guys my tips and tricks, like how I build. I feel like I'm starting to actually get some underneath my belt, but I really love playing with different types of furniture. So see, here we have, like, I think this is a Seasons bed. I'm not 100% sure. Seasons, I believe. And then we've got like a base game, just really distressed dresser. And I feel like that kind of brings out the farmhouse, the antiqueness, you know, mixing the old with the new, I think is really fun. I even tie it in using the correlating, what was it called? End tables too, which is kind of fun. This room here it's one of my favorites. I love this room too. It's super duper cute. I'm playing with a lot of different, like, I think this is Parenthood. I'm not really sure. I'm also using like the Seasons desk. I think using other items from different packs, like, I'm just going to say this, use lots of items from different packs, even if it's a completely different like building style, you know, craftsman, Victorian, like Western, whatever. But if you want to tie it in, just try to get like the colors to match, like the wood colors, the best you can. Or again, fall back on that light dark color palette. So say you have like a light wood, you know, and then you're using a dark wood throughout the house, maybe have it like offset like that. That's something I've learned that helps a lot when tying in everything, because I feel like that's my biggest struggle, is like tying in all of the different building items to make them look like they belong together instead of like from totally different packs or whatnot. That's just me. And again, don't be afraid to like use pops of color here and there, throw in things that don't make sense. Like, you want your builds to be interesting, lived in, because not everybody and their mother has like the time to hire like a, you know, interior decorator and all that kind of fun stuff. So this room's also really cute. I love it too. I love this little toddler room. Anyways, what is going on in my life? I've got 4 minutes to tell you. So basically, in a nutshell, you guys, I have been going through the worst bouts of anxiety in my entire life. I'm trying to figure out what is triggering this anxiety, and I've been trying to find what makes me happy. And it's ever since the birth of Crixus, if I'm being completely honest. I feel like maybe me going through that seizure, maybe me taking on, this additional child and, with working and all that kind of fun stuff, like it's just really hard for me to find my balance. And I feel like this has been triggering some sort of anxiety. And then, my husband, bless his soul, like he's trying to be supportive, and then I'm taking it out on him, and it's just not good. And that's what I mean by being destructive in the relationship. Like I'm pushing him away and thinking he's the problem. And I think 2 days ago, I literally went into a full-blown panic attack. I have never felt this in my life. I've had anxiety my entire life since I was little, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. It's so bad. I'm not depressed, thank God. I do know the difference. I've been there before too, believe it or not. And I'm definitely not depressed. I'm very happy with my YouTube channel, my life overall, but I feel like anxiety alters your perception of what's actually happening around you. And it's so scary for me to be able to decipher what is actual fact and what is false. And I feel like the other night when we were talking, me, my husband and I literally almost called it quits, you guys. This is so much information, and I hope that I can trust you with this. I literally almost called it quits. I've been with this guy for 12 years. Okay, what the hell's going on? That was a wake-up call for me that, we can't control the things that happen around us, but we can control how we react to them. And pushing away people that you love the most is never the answer. I freaking broke down and I cried. I almost passed out. My heart rate was through the roof. My blood pressure, I could literally hear the whooshing in my head, you guys. It was freaking bad. It was so bad. And maybe I'll do a video talking on anxiety and how I handle it, because I've had it, like I said, my entire life. But after the birth of Crixus, it's not because of him, so don't get it wrong. It's just after, hormones, things like that, adapting, adjusting, a series of unfortunate events, everything piles on. It's not really any one thing in particular, it's a magnitude of things. And I'm having a hard time, just adapting to life right now. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, take time from YouTube, just relax, do you? I did do that. That's why I was gone for a week. I was trying to figure out what the heck is going on in my life. And YouTube is never a question. I love you guys undoubtedly. I love you no matter what. I love you, and I will be here, and I will do these videos as long as you continue to watch, because this isn't a source of my anxiety or my stress. Unless I don't post for you, then yeah, you guys are my salvation. You guys are my family. I'm gonna say that shit because you guys are. You're my fucking family, and I'm swearing, so whoops. But you guys are. You're my family, and I love you guys so much. And that's why I feel in this very moment that I can trust you and tell you guys these things. Of course, there's gonna be people who don't really care for me. They're they have their assumptions of me, and they're gonna take this and twist my words and whatever. And that's fine. Me confessing what's going on in my life, this isn't for them. This is for you to understand where I've been going through and what's been happening lately, because I was so consistent even throughout my pregnancy, even after giving birth, and then all of a sudden it's what's going on, Jen? So this is what's going on. I'm trying to figure out my life. I'm trying to manage my anxiety. And I feel after having that breakdown and that realization that I was about to make the biggest mistake of my life, it really put me in check. It made me responsible for what's going on and made me want to, maybe talk to a counselor, seek ways, meditation, yoga, things that I can do to control these emotional, impulsive, I will say, outbursts that I've been experiencing lately. And again, I want to remind you, people who are dealing with anxiety, mental health issues, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them. Okay, I hate that crap. I hate people feeling like there's something wrong with them just because they're feeling this way. There's just so many complex things that happen in the brain, chemical reactions, way that you react in general. Maybe you reacted to the same situation 2 different ways. There's nothing wrong with me or you or anybody who is going through this. So if you look down on people that are suffering from any type of self-struggle, because I don't even like calling it a freaking mental illness, because I'll be honest with you guys, I have discovered the most beautiful freaking parts of me in the midst of a damn freaking breakdown. I have nothing but pure good intentions, so if anybody took that the wrong way, my little rant there, that's just me. I just want, basically in a nutshell, I just want you guys to know, no matter what you're going through, there's nothing wrong with you. You just think differently. And, yes, there's help to start, leveling out those emotions. And I think that's what I need to do. So Anyways, guys, if you guys want to continue on this conversation, feel free to do so in the comments down below. Shout out to Thomas. Thank you for listening to this rant. Shout out to everybody who's been sticking it through with me. And I hope you guys enjoyed this house. I love it. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't she lovely? She is beauty. She is grace. I will put her on the gallery at Jen2606. And I really enjoyed our conversation, and I hope that you did too. And if you have any questions, I would be more than glad to help you. So let me know in the comments down below where the sun does not shine, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings, but now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner, yeah. 'Cause I'm the winner, yes. Am I awake or am I dreaming? So far gone, I won't look back. And when I move, there ain't no stopping me. You're pushing me up to the top.